welcome back to the Nerd Dimension. Today we're talking about part 1 of the season finale for the Bad Batch show. I haven't done many videos on the Bad Batch. I'm actually disappointed in myself. I should have. I don't know why I didn't. A lot of things were going on. I was quite busy, but I haven't really got into the Bad Batch, and Star Wars is my favourite IP. I love Star Wars, it's the best. I've been doing a lot of Marvel focused content, trailers and stuff, but I need to get more into some of my Star Wars content because Star Wars is my all-time favourite, and this episode of the Bad Batch, wow, what an episode. What an episode. I've loved many parts of this series this season, and we've just found out yesterday that we're getting a season 2. I'm absolutely buzzing about that. I'm pretty hyped. But a lot of the episodes in this season I found to be disappointing. Filler episodes, side missions, do you know what I mean? Side quests, adventure of the week. I want to see more on the Bad Batch characters, them to grow and build, work together. We did see them do that on missions, but I want to see their overall part in the galaxy, part in the overall story. I want to see main things going on, not the adventure of the week, but it is what it is. But I'm going to dive into this episode. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The tone, the style, just everything about this episode was phenomenal. I loved it. Starting off with Kamino, Crosshair reunited with Hunter, brothers face to face. It's just, you can feel the tension. This is the most Star Wars episode of this season, bar episode 1 and maybe Ryloth. I'd say that I felt like this just blew me away. It felt like Star Wars, and any episode that has the elite squad troopers in it, just wow, give me more of these. Give me more Crosshair and more of these. My biggest flaw this season so far is the lack of Crosshair. When I seen Clone Wars season 7, Crosshair was my favourite. We've seen that scene where he's running down the hallway and he's throwing all the magnetic kind of reflectors on the walls, and they're connected to the walls, runs down 3 hallways, and then he aims, he puts a sniper on his elbow for support, and then just as the droids start running around the corner, blast, and just one laser through every head of every droid. He kills who knows, 1,000 droids there. That might be an exaggeration, but it's a lot. He was my favourite character out of the group, and he's not been in that many episodes, but you know, after this episode, there's hope, and after finding out there's a season 2, I hope we get Crosshair back in the team and just back with the squad, kicking ass, being my favourite Bad Batch member. However, let's dive into this episode. We're on Kamino. Kamino's been, Hunter's noticed, there's no Kaminoans, there's no clones, it's been basically evacuated. It's all in Empire, Imperial troopers all over the place. Crosshair activates Hunter's tracking chip because he knows, which reference to later in the episode, that the squad's going to come for him, even though they know that it's a trap. Whatever, they'll still come because they're loyal. I don't know where to start. I'm not going to do it in chronological order. I'm just going to break down my favourite parts of this episode. The emotional scene near the end. They're in the training facility. Hunter's arguing with Crosshair. They're trapped. They have no way out. They're surrounded by troopers. Crosshair's at the front, and he's giving off little hints. He says something about, I'm going to give you a chance more than what you gave me. And at that moment, I got goosebumps. It's like, wait, does he have his inhibitor chip? And he starts getting emotional. The music changes. They're getting deep into it. And then boom, whoosh, one blast. Oh, first Echo looks and notices the reflector. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was buzzing. I was absolutely buzzing. And then I got up, I'm like, no way. And when the way he was talking to Hunter, the things he was saying, I was getting so excited. I'm like, is he about to save them and come back to the squad? Did that episode of Ryloth with his injury, with the old Jedi Star Destroyer Venator or whatever, the engines, when he got injured by that, did that melt his chip? Did that deactivate it? Or did he remove it himself? Was it before that? Was it after? Who knows? I thought maybe when that happened, it affected the chip, and that was it. He was no longer affected by the inhibitor chip's Order 66 like execution. But who knows? Maybe we'll find out next step. But he takes out those troopers. They argue he's not interested in drifting around, getting chased by the Empire. He wants to be on the winning side. He wants to be on the team with the most power. He believes superior being a superior soldier, which he is, because Palpatine's got all these just TK, aka stormtroopers coming in, and they're all just recruits from around the galaxy. He's just interested in vast numbers and just total superiority. Kind of reminiscent to the battle droids. It was like they were like the Jedi cut through them like they were butter, but it was their vast numbers that overwhelmed like the battles. There was just so many of them. Kind of reminiscent of that, like Palpatine's doing with the stormtroopers. But anyway, there's clearly plans to take out the clone troopers, and we can see that. Oh, another bit. We found out that Omega is actually older than all of the Bad Batch. We see the secret lab in Topeka City, and they go down the secret tube system, which was absolutely awesome. I mean, Kamino, big water planet, sure it's going to have some cool ass underwater tube systems for quick travel between cities and whatnot. These big massive structures, discs in the air, do you know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. They go to the lab where the Bad Batch was created, and Omega reveals she was here when Nala Se created the Bad Batch. So I don't know if she just doesn't have accelerated aging, or maybe she's actually 30, but she ages in half the time. I seen that in another video. That's a good theory, a really good theory, but I just thought it was an emotional moment. They didn't want her to follow either. They said Echo said he'll give her a signal if things go wrong, and Tech predicts that if they go through, they'll be expecting to go through the main door, so we'll take the left. As soon as they take the left, they're already surrounded. They weren't expecting that, and what was funny is it's like, well, obviously Crosshair knows that they're going to come through the main door, so they're probably going to take the left, so he was prepared, and he already had his reflectors everywhere in place. But that was just such an emotional scene. We see one of the elite squad troopers like mentioned she doesn't trust Crosshair, and she's not sure what his intentions is with his brother. He says keep an eye on her, and her suspicions were right. She goes after Omega. Omega's clever and, as always, not following orders, and she activates the training droids, which kind of reminded me of the droids from the Mandalorian season finale that Luke destroys, except like the level 5 version, and Luke's version was the level 8, do you know what I mean? So when the battle droids come to the training facility, it actually just made things worse and harder, but then Hunter and Crosshair are fighting hand to hand, and it's absolutely epic after this big monologue about being superior and trying to get his brothers to join the Empire. It isn't about the Empire, it's just about being on the winning side, following orders, being superior to the other beings, the superior soldiers that they are. And we also found out that Nala Se actually experimented on all of them in that lab where Omega seen them be made, basically, and their powers were actually mutations enhanced during the creation process. So they are genetic mutations, but they were enhanced on purpose by Nala Se. I'm thinking 3rd generation clones. Anyway, Kamino's been completely evacuated. We see Tarkin return, and he says his classic line from A New Hope: "You may fire when ready." Terrible impression. I butchered it, sorry, but we see him say his famous line. He asks if all the scientists and basically important people that the Empire want to use clearly for Palpatine, maybe some future tie-ins with Snoke, who knows, but for Palpatine, he wants to clone. He wants to clone, of course. He wants to clone a body that a younger, stronger, undeformed body that he can go into and have his power. Anyway, who knows? There were smaller pods in that lab as well. Is Grogu a clone of Yoda? You heard it here first in the Nerd Dimension. I don't know, but this episode blew me away. The animation from season 1 of Clone Wars to this it is phenomenal. The weather conditions on the rainy planet of Kamino. Oh, and when they first come in their ship, it's the same music, a nod to Attack of the Clones, the same music when Obi-Wan arrives. I love that kind of stuff, just those little wee things. So when the Venators start raining fire on Kamino, and we're seeing the structures just fall apart and crumble, they run outside and they just see hellfire, blue hellfire raining from space from these Venators, just crumbling every structure. They say run back inside. Wrecker's got Crosshair on his shoulder. It's just so intense. I can't wait for next week. I've been expecting a major cameo to appear. Do you think there's going to be a cameo in the next episode? Do you think it will be Darth Vader? Will it be Lord Vader? Will it? I hope so. But I mean, I've been expecting more cameos than we got. My favourite so far, other than Caleb Doom and Bella Palaba, but the best one for me was Cad Bane. I like Fennec Shan, but Cad Bane, that was cool. That was awesome. I've got the Cad Bane Black Series figure in my collection, and I think it's an absolute badass. That was such a cool scene and a cool way to end an episode. But other than that, who could we get? Is there going to be a cameo in the finale? Right now, if the Bad Batch somehow manage to escape, I don't know if there is other cities on Kamino, so I don't know if they can escape. I don't think they'll be able to get to their ship. I mean, it looks like a pretty big place, and things are falling apart. Things are falling apart really quickly, but I think Vader will possibly appear in the next step. I really do. I think we're going to get Vader. I hope so. I think it's going to be kind of like Rogue One. He just appears, comes in, kicks ass. I don't know. We've seen him in Rebels. I just want more Darth Vader. Give me a Darth Vader TV series, please. That'd be epic. Or a Darth Vader movie. Something about Vader. I love the comics. See the comics from Revenge of the Sith ends and all the way up to A New Hope. The comics are absolutely amazing. I love them. Anyway, do you think we'll get a cameo? If you think we're going to get a cameo, tell me who in the comments below. One last thing I wanted to mention, the Venators blasting Kamino and destroying everything. Do you think it's going to be like Mandalore? And this is a planet full of water? Is this just going to turn into glass? Like, are they glassing this planet? Because obviously, it's not the Death Star, it can't just destroy the entire planet, but raining all that fire from the skies, from space. It turned Mandalore into glass, it ruined that planet. Is that what's going to happen to Kamino? It's kind of heartbreaking, do you know what I mean? We've seen Kamino in the prequels, seen it in the games. We never ever knew what happened to it between, like, where it ended up before A New Hope, do you know what I mean? After Revenge of the Sith or whatever. We never knew what happened to it, and now we do. It's kind of heartbreaking, and it was a clone pulling the trigger, destroying the planet. It's kind of heartbreaking, isn't it? What an episode. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm kind of drawing a blank here. I was so blown away by it that I want to just turn the camera on and talk about it. And I really probably need to watch it again. I've probably forgot things to talk about, but I'm just going to give a rating. This was a 10 out of 10 episode for this season. Absolute 10 out of 10. I cannot wait for next week's episode. The Venators, Tarkin says you may fire when ready. They start blasting on Kamino. The Bad Batch run a bad way. They've stunned Crosshair. We're trying to escape with them. Tensions are high. The situation is dire. I mean, I know they're going to get out of it because there's a season 2 been announced. Maybe they should have waited to announce that 2 weeks from now. Anyway, I'm absolutely buzzing that there is a season 2, so that's good. But do you think somebody's going to die next week in the finale? Because they possibly could. And I see a lot of theories that people think Crosshair's going to die. And my God, see if he does. I'll be fuming. I'll be absolutely fuming because he's my favourite. I want to see more of him. He's not been in enough episodes in this season. I'm just going to say it. He's not been in enough episodes in this season. The fuck, man? The fuck? Anyway, I need more Crosshair and I want to see him fighting side by side with his brothers. we basically only got that in episode 1. Come on. I mean, it was cool seeing him hunt them. That Rilo effect was just absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna binge this season all the way through after I watch next week's ep, just to really get the full story in one go instead of week to week. And, do you know what I mean? Not remembering some things that happened in previous episodes and whatnot. But I really want to. I mean, there was the Loki show going on. There was a lot of things going on. I was working. I really want to dive back into this season and really break it down. But I'm just absolutely excited for next week. I don't know what's going to happen. The Venators, there's 3 Venator Star Destroyers in space that start raining fire on Kamino. And I don't know if you noticed, but that looked like clones that he ordered to press fire. Clones that were raised and created on this place, pulling the trigger and destroying their own home. It's kind of sad, but my God. What was your thoughts on this episode? Have you enjoyed the Bad Batch season overall? I want to hear your thoughts, your theories, your opinions. Who's your favourite character? I want to know it all. I want to talk about Star Wars. Talk about Star Wars with me. Anyway, if you like this, hit that like. If you like, hit that subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.